Yo, what's good? My name's Kang, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about a budgeting strategy called the envelope method. There's a bunch of different names for this budgeting strategy, like envelope budgeting or bucket budgeting, but I think it's most easily explained through an example from our favorite capitalist game, Monopoly. Or in this case, Canadaopoly. Let's say you're 24 to 54 years old and you make the average income in Canada in 2019, which is $58,000. This means each month you're taking home $3,600 after tax. Now, with this $3,600, let's create a rough budget. First, we'll go over our fixed expenses. Let's say you live with roommates and pay $1,250 a month in rent, $120 utilities, $45 on internet, $200 on student loans, $150 on your Presto card, $50 on your phone bill, $45 for a gym membership, $40 for subscriptions, and let's say that you're a subscriber, so you know you have to pay yourself first and invest $700 a month for a total of $2,600. These are what I call your fixed expenses. They don't really change month to month, and you can't really pay with them in cash, and they automatically come out of your bank account. Now, with the $1,000 left over, this is what I would call your variable expenses. These expenses change month to month and is what we will be using our cash to pay with. So what we do is we withdraw $1,000 from our bank account and separate our expenses into different buckets or different envelopes. So let's say we set a budget of $400 a month on groceries. What you do is you count out $400 and you put it into this envelope and label it groceries. Now, you continue to do this for the remainder of your expenses, like fast food, $75, $75 on clothes, $75 on alcohol, $75 for entertainment, $75 on dining out, $50 for personal care, $50 for household items, and $125 for everything else. Now you have your variable expenses grouped up into neat little envelopes in order to help you visualize your budget. Now, every single time you buy something from the store, you have to use money that comes from a categorized envelope. And at the end of the month, if there's extra, you can either carry that money forward or, drop it into a sinking savings fund or, invest that money. Now, I just made this budget on a whim, and honestly, it could be really unrealistic for some people. So it's important to create your own budget and understand what will work for you. So what are the advantages of using a method like this? First, there's the whole entire psychological aspect. I know, and you know, that fumbling through bills is going to fire different receptors in your brains than just tapping your card and trying to block out the total. When you pay with cash, there's multiple steps that your brain has to go through. Hearing the total, opening up your wallet, counting the money, handing over the money. All of these steps, as I like to call it, obstacles, will help you take ownership of your spending. Using the envelope method could also help you visualize your spending, more importantly, how much you have left over. For people who have a hard time with numbers and graphs, having a visual representation can help them get a grip of their finances and not overspend. Speaking about overspending, the envelope method really helps you not overspend. For example, once you've used all the money in your fast food budget, you'll know because your envelope will be empty. And if you wanted to buy more fast food, you would have to take money out of another envelope in order to fund that decision. In comparison, unless you're diligently tracking your spending when you're using your credit card or your debit card, it's easy to lose track of your spending because there's no separation in your budget. And these are all great reasons to use the envelope method, but of course there are drawbacks. First of all, there's the whole entire structure of it. Realistically, most people don't get paid at the beginning or the end of each month and get paid bi-weekly. This means you're probably going to have to be going to the bank twice a month in order to pull out the cash to fund your envelope method. There's also a pretty big security risk. If you ever get your wallet stolen or you lose it, you could potentially lose out on hundreds of dollars. On the other hand, if your credit card or your debit card gets stolen, you can easily call your bank in order to freeze your accounts. You can of course mitigate this risk by only taking out the cash that you need or only taking specific envelopes when you leave your house. Using cash also isn't very pandemic conscious. With how important personal hygiene and sanitation are, using cash really isn't the move. On top of that, a lot of places have stopped accepting cash since the pandemic has started. Using cash as a primary payment also doesn't really let you buy stuff online, which means you're forced to leave your house, which at this point some of you may or may not want to do. There's also the fact that you can't really build your credit score while using a method like this, and you can't take advantage of credit card perks like cashback or points. Despite all the drawbacks, I really think that the envelope method is a great budgeting technique to help you visualize your spending and curb any impulse spending habits that you have. And if you don't want to be carrying out all that cash, there's an app called YNAB that is based on the same principle. I believe it's $50 a month, but with the level of organization that it provides, I really think that it's worth it. Personally, I've never used this method and I've also never used YNAB. Instead, I track all of my spending using a spreadsheet, and you can click right here to get my template and learn how to use it.